In today's class, let us comes to here. In today's class, we'll go and we'll continue. So, what is the how many wildlife sanctuaries are there in India, and where they are existed, and in that, what is the main things that is all we'll study. So, let us comes to here. So, as we know that wildlife sanctuary means in last class we have studied a place of safety where the wild animals can live happily in their natural environment, natural habitat. So that is only we used to call a wildlife sanctuary. Is it yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So wildlife sanctuary. So if it comes to here, a safe place where they can live happily in their natural environment is only called as wildlife. We used to call this. Correct? So now let us come
Yes,
to here.
sir.
We'll see what is the wildlife sanctuaries are present in India. So if you observe carefully, India has preserved, understand, vast tracts of forest and natural habitats for its wildlife sanctuaries. So the wildlife sanctuaries are spread across our country, wherever you go, every state, understanding it provides understanding, fascinating diversity of terrestrial flora and fauna, everything like in the types of plants and in types of animals, everything they are going to protect in the form of wildlife sanctuaries. So we have everywhere, every state in India, we have this wildlife sanctuary. It is spreading throughout across our country. So if you observe here, in our India, Indian wildlife sanctuaries have unique landscapes, understanding, broad level forest and mountain forest and even bushlands and also present in our India. So even as bushlands means a small plants where like a grass kind of plants are growing. So like that also we have a wildlife sanctuaries. We have a very big level of broad level of forest we have, as well as mountain forest we have. So like this different kind of wildlife sanctuaries, it is there. Understand? Even deltas also, deltas of big rivers. Like suppose if you take Ganga, understanding Ganga deltas, Ganga region deltas, it is one of the biggest understanding wildlife sanctuaries. So like that, if you consider a different level of wildlife sanctuaries, understand a broad level forest, mountain forest, and bushlands, everything in India, it has more than 500 wildlife sanctuaries. How many? It has more than
500 birds.
more than 500. If you'll across,
500 wildlife.
understanding, if you'll observe, more than 500, more than 500 wildlife sanctuaries are there.
Wildlife.
Sanctuaries are present in India. Do you understand, Ra? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
500 wildlife sanctuaries are there. So some wildlife sanctuaries are specially named bird sanctuaries because major inhabitants are birds. Understand? So if we take a few habitats, particularly where the wildlife birds are existed, more birds are coming from other countries or in our India also. Some particular place only it is belongs to the birds. So that is why that one we used to call them as bird sanctuaries. What we should call?
Bird sanctuary.
Few are known as bird sanctuaries.
Bird sanctuary.
So bird sanctuaries, because why? Because why, Chaitanya? Because they bird inhabitants, understanding, major inhabitants are birds. That is why it is called as major inhabitants.
Okay.
Major inhabitants are birds. So that is why that sanctuary is what we should call bird sanctuaries. Do you understand?
Bird sanctuaries.
All of you? So that
Yes, sir.
so let us see
Yes,
now.
sir.
In India, what is that few understanding? The names of some of the wild sanctuaries of India and their locations understanding we will discuss now. So around the main 10 wild sanctuaries and their locations we have. So let us discuss that understanding. So now let us go with the first one. If you'll observe, it is located in Maharashtra. Its name is Sanjay Gandhi Wildlife Sanctuary. What is that? Sanjay Gandhi Wildlife.
Sanjay Gandhi Wildlife.
Sanjay Gandhi, do you know who is Sanjay Gandhi? Indira Gandhi's second son. Understand? Now present Rajiv Gandhi, do you know? Rajiv Gandhi is our ex-prime minister. Correct or not? So
Yes,
brother
sir.
of Rajiv Gandhi
Yes, sir.
is only known as Sanjay Gandhi. Understand, Ra?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sanjay.
Yes, sir.
Understand? So Sanjay Gandhi Wildlife Sanctuary, which is located in where? Maharashtra. Sanjay
Maharashtra.
Gandhi Wildlife Sanctuary in Maharashtra. Located in Maharashtra. MH.
Maharashtra.
It's what? Maharashtra. That is what you should remember. Okay. So next one. These are the biggest ones. That is why we'll study. Second one is Mudumalai Wildlife Sanctuary. Mudumalai. You may understand where it is located. Mudumalai.
Tamil Nadu, sir.
Mudumalai. Understand? Mudumalai. Not it down.
Yes, sir.
Mudumalai. Understanding? Wildlife Sanctuary.
In Tamil Nadu.
Yeah. TN. Tamil Nadu. Okay. Next. Like that you go for. Totally we have a 10. Next, the third one is located in, understanding, Nagarjuna Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. Nagarjuna Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. Now it is under Telangana, but before it is combined state, it is located in Andhra Pradesh. So that we can write both Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Now it is in border. So that is why Nagarjuna Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. Next one is Nagarjuna Sagar. Nagarjuna Sagar Dam. You may know it. Nagarjuna. Understanding? Nagarjuna Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. Wildlife Sanctuary. Understand?
Sir.
Yeah, you can keep combined AP.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, it is bird sanctuary or what
Then
sanctuary,
I will
sir?
say you. Some only there in that. I will say you that location. Don't worry. Now you do it. Okay? Understand? If it is bird sanctuary, only bird will come. Do you understand? It won't come wild sanctuary. It will like bird sanctuary. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Understand? So that we will study. I will say you. You do it
Yes,
now.
sir.
So Nagarjuna Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary. So 3 over. Next, third one. Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. Fourth one is Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. Do you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary present in Rajasthan. Rajasthan. Do you understand, Ra? Chaitanya?
Yes, sir.
So like that. So now if it is bird
Yes,
sanctuary,
sir.
it will come. That is, you should note it down. Next, Sultanpur Lake Bird Sanctuary. Sultanpur Lake Bird Sanctuary. Sultanpur Lake Bird Sanctuary. So it is lake as well as birds. That is why it is present in Haryana. Sultanpur Lake Bird Sanctuary. Next, fifth one, I think. The fifth one, sixth one. Sultanpur Lake Bird Sanctuary. Sixth one. Dandeli Wildlife Sanctuary, Karnataka. Dandeli Wildlife Sanctuary. Dandeli Wildlife Sanctuary. Which is located in Karnataka. Dandeli. Understand, Ra?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
D-A-N-D-E-L-I. D-A-N-D-E-L-I. Not D-E-N. Dandeli. D-A-N-D-E-L-I. Dandeli. Note it down. Next, seventh one. Spelling modifier. Dandeli. Next, seventh one. 30 card bird sanctuary. 30 card. You may, this word you may relate it to what? Malayalam. 30 card. T-H-A-T-T-E-K-A-D. T-H-A-T-T-E-K-A-D. 30 card bird sanctuary. Kerala. 30 card bird sanctuary. Kerala. Do you understand, Ra? Next.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next. Satkoshia Basipalli Wildlife Sanctuary. Satkoshia Basipalli. Satkosia, Satkosia Basipalli, Satkosia Basipalli Wildlife Sanctuary, which is located in West Bengal. Located in West Bengal. Satkosia Basipalli. It's a village name actually. Next, ninth one. Lakcho Wildlife Sanctuary, Manipur. Lakcho. 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 Lakcho Wildlife Sanctuary, Manipur. Manipur. Next one. The last one. These are the major wildlife sanctuaries in India. That is what you should remember. Last one. Bori Wildlife Sanctuary. Where? Bori Wildlife Sanctuary. Bori.
Sir, Panchmahi Sanctuary. Panchmahi, sir.
Sanctuary. Where it is? Where is it located? Panchmari.
Madhya Pradesh.
Madhya Pradesh. So these are the 10. Do you understanding all of you, Chaitanya? So if you observe here,
Sir.
in that few bird sanctuaries are there, which is few located in like Kerala one, understanding like different places it is located. So that is all you should remember. One is located in Haryana, one is located in Rajasthan. But then we have a 3 or 4 bird sanctuaries, understand, and remaining are wildlife sanctuaries. So we already discussed that, understanding. So all these biosphere reserves, and we have discussed this wildlife sanctuary. Everything is what regarding both biosphere reserves and wildlife sanctuaries are the legally protected areas for the conservation of wildlife. Is it yes or no?
Sir, can you show the ninth one, sir? Ninth one.
So now you may observe here the Bori Wildlife Sanctuary. Ninth one is called as Lakcho Wildlife Sanctuary. Lakcho Wildlife Sanctuary. Understand?
Okay, sir.
Lakcho Wildlife Sanctuary. So if you observe here, so everything, this all the 10, understand, 10 are called as wildlife sanctuaries. So everywhere, understanding. So everything is protecting for, they are the legal areas for protecting what? All the conservation of animals and plants, correct or not? So if you take the biosphere reserves also conservation of plants and animals, understanding. So legally protected areas, and these wildlife sanctuaries also legally protected areas, but they have some differences. So what is the main differences between these biosphere reserves and wildlife sanctuaries? What is that? Can you able to say? Anybody? Suppose you think
Sir, can't understand your question.
biosphere reserves are even the major part of biosphere reserves whose tribals. So tribals are the integral part of a biosphere reserve. Is it yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but if you take this one, wildlife sanctuary, is it anybody is there? No local people, understand? So local people
No, sir.
have an integral part of wildlife sanctuary. And you may observe, Panchmaki Biosphere Reserve, it contains wildlife sanctuary, means in the sense of who is bigger in size? Who is bigger in size? Who is bigger in size? Biosphere reserves or wildlife sanctuaries?
Wildlife reserve.
What? Who is bigger in size?
Sir, wildlife.
Wildlife sanctuaries. only, sir.
Wildlife.
Observe very carefully. Bori Wildlife Sanctuary is a part of Panchmarhi Biosphere. Means in the sense of who is bigger? Who is bigger?
Sir, Panchmarhi Biosphere.
Panchmarhi Biosphere.
That is wildlife.
Remember, understand. So Panchmarhi Biosphere is bigger than the Bori Wildlife Sanctuary. That is why it is a part of Bori Panchmarhi Biosphere. Correct or not? So from that, can I say? Understand? So the biosphere reserves is spread over a very large area of land, and wildlife sanctuaries occupies a smaller area compared to the biosphere reserves. Is it yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That is the first difference we should remember. So like that we have 4 differences between the biosphere reserves and wildlife sanctuary. So that is what you must learn, and you can now keep heading differences between biosphere reserves and wildlife sanctuary. But both are what? Both are legally protected areas, correct or not? Both
Yes,
are
sir.
legally
Yes,
protected
sir.
areas. For what? For conservation of plants and Conservation of
Animals.
plants and animals.
Plants and animals.
Understand? So they are the legally protected areas for conservation of plants and animals, but they have some difference. So difference only now we are going to study. So now all of you keep reading. Difference between biosphere reserves, difference between biosphere reserve and wildlife sanctuary. Keep reading. Difference between biosphere reserve and wildlife sanctuary. Right now, construct the table or column this side and that side with the help of that, and you write it. So what is the first difference, Ra? It is comparatively larger area. That is what you should write. First one, biosphere reserve. This side, construct table. Whenever they will ask difference, you should write the table. Right. Biosphere reserve is spread over a. Biosphere reserve is spread over a large area of land. Biosphere reserve is spread over.
Biosphere.
Biosphere reserve is spread over a large area of land.
Very
Is spread over a large area of land.
large area.
Large area of land. Large area of land. Large area of land. Next, that side you can write. Opposite side. Comparatively small area. A wildlife sanctuaries occupies. A wildlife sanctuaries occupies. You can write here.
Yeah.
Oh, who is that? Okay. So, second point. This side first point. A wildlife sanctuaries. You can observe here. A wildlife sanctuaries occupies comparatively smaller area of land. Comparatively smaller area of land. That is the first difference. Understand? Next, you may observe here, all of you. So that is the first difference which we used to observe. So if you observe any kind of wildlife sanctuaries, they are comparatively smaller than, understanding, the biosphere reserves. That is the first one. Next one. If we take the biosphere reserve, it is the conservation of biodiversity of the area as well as the economic development, because we can develop the tours, understanding, we can develop the tourism, we can develop everything economic. That is why you can say it is the economic development of area. Understand? Next, if it comes to here, a wildlife sanctuary is mainly for the protection of wild animals of the area in the natural habitat. There is no economic development from the wildlife sanctuaries. That is what you should remember. Next, local people form an integral part of biosphere reserves. They are the integral part of biosphere reserves. But here, no local people do not form an integral part. No local people are considered in the wildlife sanctuary because only it is a reserved for animals. No humans are considered. Understanding? Next, in this region, all the human activities such as cultivation of land and building of settlements like houses are allowed in the outermost zone. Outermost zone, what is the name of that, Shruti? What is the outermost zone called as? Inner zone, core zone,
Transition zone.
transition zone. Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this transition zone, we can construct the houses, we can do the cultivation, means farming and all. But here, wildlife sanctuary, the human activities such as cultivation of land and building of settlements are not allowed. Only it is natural habitat. Only animals can survive. Nobody, no human activities is allowed in wildlife sanctuary. But in biosphere reserves, human activities are accepted. Correct or not? But that is also which region? Only outermost zone. Do you understand, Ra? Chaitanya? Outermost zone.
Yes, sir.
Remember. Understand? So this is what, if you'll get a
Yes,
question,
sir.
write the difference between understanding the wildlife biosphere reserves and wildlife sanctuaries, then you should write this one. Understand, all of you? So write it.
Yes, sir.
Write it.
Yes, sir.
Write in the class also. That is. So if you'll understand, no, do it now.
It's the last punch.
Right. Completed?
Wildlife sanctuaries.
Right.
Yes, sir. Completed. Sir.
Completed, Shruti? Chaitanya?
Yes, sir.
That is.
Yes, sir. I completed, sir.
Yeah. So now that is. So if you understand that, then we will go. So this is about the wildlife sanctuaries and as well as biosphere reserves. So if you understand this, then next we have some more thing. What is that we used to call as? After that, what we used to call as? What is
Sir?
the next one? National parks. Correct or not? National park.
sir.
Correct? So, but before going to study
Yes, sir.
the national parks, we should study the little bit one more thing. You may observe that you may visited last year Hyderabad tour or something. So Hyderabad you may have understanding, or else you may visited Chennai also. You may visited somewhere also. We have a called as zoological parks. Have you heard that zoological parks?
Sir?
Zoo. Have you heard it? Where you can see wildlife animals. So many wildlife animals. Zoo.
This is zoo, sir.
Zoo. Do you know zoo or not?
Yes, sir. We know zoo, sir.
Yeah. So you may visit it. You may visit it zoo also. Correct or not? So if it comes
Yes, sir.
here, understanding. So that is you should know it. What is the zoo also? Next only we will go for understanding. So this is called as national parks. So before that we should go. Now we have studied the difference between understanding this wildlife sanctuaries and as well as biosphere reserves. So now we'll see
Biosphere.
wildlife sanctuary only. Few wildlife sanctuaries are allowed for people to see and enjoy in a particular time. Understand? So that is only we used to call as zoo, zoological garden. What we should call? Zoological garden.
Zoological.
Understand? So that is what we will study now. Actually, it is also one type of similar type of wildlife sanctuaries. But wildlife sanctuaries are humans are not allowed. It is protected region completely. But in this, it is allowed. So that is what we will study now. So if it comes to here, few times you may visited zoo. Correct or not? Zoo. So zoo means
Yes, sir.
zoological garden. That is what you should note it down. So now we'll see. Zoo is a one type of what? One type of wildlife sanctuary. Do you understanding, Amma? Zoological garden.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Zoological garden. So the shortcut for zoological garden is what? Zoo. Understanding? JEDGO. So if it comes to here, understanding this zoological gardens, we'll study now what is the difference between this is the one type of wildlife sanctuary, but we will study the small differences between them that we will study now. So we all visited a zoo sometime, understanding, and even yearly once also you'll go. Now because of corona you may not, but you'll go it. So zoo means what? Zoological garden if we'll take. So or else we can call it as a zoological park also. Understanding? Zoological garden or zoological park. Not natural, understanding? Not national parks. National parks is different, and this zoological park or zoological garden is different. Understand? That is what you should remember. So if it comes to here, this park or garden, what is happening means a large garden where many type of wild animals and birds brought from different part of the country and the world, understanding, are kept in understanding, and it is enclosed to the people can see them. That is only we used to call it as zoo. Understanding? So throughout the world or throughout the India, wherever the different animals are present, so that all the animals we will bring. Understanding, we will bring in a single place in a cages. Cages means like a protection for them, and we people can go and visit them regularly. That place is called as zoo. What we should call? Zoo means where the different animals can
Zoo.
bring from different areas, different regions of the understanding in India or any other countries, and if we place them in a cages, or we can say that enclosures, then so that the people can see them regularly. So that is only ways to called as zoo. But what is the difference between this wildlife sanctuary and zoo means? Wildlife sanctuary protects what? Provides the protection to wild animals. Is it yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But if it comes to the zoo also provides what? Protection to the wild animals. Yes or no?
Animal.
But if you observe
Yes, sir.
wildlife sanctuary, so we are not bringing them, we are not transporting. What we are doing, suppose the animals are present there, itself we are providing protection for them. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
But if it comes to
Yes,
the
sir.
zoo, what is happening? We are bringing them.
We bring animals and we
Yes.
give
We
protection.
are bringing separately and we are keeping in a particular place. That is also not freely. We are keeping them in a prison. Prison means cage. Cage we are keeping. Suppose you see wildlife, if you go, wildlife sanctuary, if you go, animals are free to move anywhere, wherever they want. They can go in the boundary. Understanding? But if it comes to the cages,
Yes, sir.
zoo, it is not allowed to go outside from its cage, or else it is that prison. Do you understand, Ra? That is the differences. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Both it is protection of what?
Yes, sir.
Protection of both. It is a protection of
Animals. Wildlife animals.
wildlife animals. Understand? So that is the differences between
Yes,
them. So now we will see what is the major differences of this one. So let us go with that. So now write all of you. Jew, Jew. Jew. A large garden, a large garden, a large garden, a large garden or park, a large garden, Jew definition, a large garden or park. So zoological garden, or also we can call it as what? Zoological park. That is what you should remember. Okay, da?
Yes.
Zoological,
Okay,
Yes.
sir.
a large garden or park, where many types of wild animals, where many types of wild animals and birds. Many types of wild animals and birds. Many types of wild animals and birds brought from different parts of the country. Brought from different parts of the country. Different parts of the country. Different parts of the country. And the world are kept in, and the world are kept in, and the world are kept in cages or enclosures, and the world are kept in, means the world is fixed, and world are kept in cages or enclosures, cages or enclosures, and it can be seen them. Understand? It is allowed to see the people. It is allowed the people, and it is allowed the people. It is allowed the people can see them. Can see them. Can see them is called a Jew. See them is called Jew. Do you understand, Ra?
Yes, sir.
Called zoo.
Sir? Sir?
Yeah. Tell me, Johan. Is called zoo. Okay. So now again it will comes to here. Both what wildlife sanctuary and also zoo. Both provides what? Both the provides the protection for protection
Protection for animals, wild animals.
wildlife animals only. But they have some differences. That is what we'll study now. Understand? So you can write a statement. Wildlife sanctuaries and zoos. Wildlife sanctuaries and zoo. Wildlife sanctuaries. Wildlife sanctuaries and zoos both provide protection for wildlife animals. Understand? But they have some differences. So the differences we'll study now. So you can keep heading differences between what is that wildlife animals and wildlife sanctuaries and
Wild such
sanctuary.
and wild zoos.
Understand? So what is the difference, Ra? So in wildlife sanctuary, what is happening? Wildlife sanctuary, what is
Sir,
happening?
where are the animals they will keep
Free.
them?
Understanding. So wherever they want.
Cages also, sir.
But in zoo, it has been kept in cages. Correct or not? So that the area is restricted
Yes,
for
sir.
them. So they cannot go freely anywhere. Wherever they want to go and wherever they want to walk, they cannot walk freely because in a zoo they have been kept in a fixed area, restricted area. But in the case of wildlife sanctuaries, it has been kept wherever they want to go, they can go. So that is the main differences between them. So now let us write the differences between them. So all of you keep heading differences between wildlife sanctuary and zoo. So the first difference you can observe here. So if you observe the wildlife sanctuary, the wild animals and birds live in their natural habitat in the forest. So we no need to bring them. So there is no artificial, everything is natural environment or else natural habitat we can call. You can observe here, natural habitat. But in zoo, what is happening? The wild animals and birds live in artificial settings such as cages and enclosures. Cages and tell me, cages and enclosures. That is what. Next, if you observe, a wildlife sanctuary contains only wild animals and birds found locally. Is it yes or no, Johan? Chaitanya? Yes or no, Sriti?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now if you
Sir,
observe,
John said that his net is short, so he can't come, sir.
wildlife sanctuary only contains the local animals and local birds. Understanding? Local animals and local birds. We will never find
Right.
naturally anywhere else. Correct or not? But if it comes to the zoo,
Yes, sir.
contains what? We bring the different animals, understanding, and birds brought from different part of the country, and we can understanding keep in even other countries also, various other countries of the world also. So that is why it is called as zoo. So it is also wildlife only. This is also wildlife, but different countries. Suppose I may bring kangaroo from Australia. Is it yes or no? Kangaroo can exist in
Yes,
Australia.
sir.
I can bring and I can protect. Then that is called as zoo. Understanding? So that is the difference between wildlife sanctuary and zoo. Okay, Chaitanya. Next. So if you'll observe here, wildlife sanctuary is not open to public freely. Understanding? Suppose see, you cannot walk in wildlife sanctuary because animals can attack. They can walk freely so that they will attack and they will kill you. Correct or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That is why
Yes, sir.
wildlife sanctuary is not understanding open to public freely like a zoo, but public can understanding a public can visit a wildlife sanctuary only when accompanied by the forest guards. Means like yesterday I have sent you one video. We can go in the some kinds of a cage, correct or not? Some kind of a car which is having a cage protection, so that we used to watch the wild animals which is walking freely in the wildlife sanctuary. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If we go zoo, what is happening? Zoo is understanding open to public for a fixed time every day. Means they will be protected. Actually, wildlife sanctuary we will be protected, and animals are freely so that we can go and watch them in a cages. But if it comes to the zoo animals are protected. We can go freely and we can watch them. Yes, sir. Is it yes or no? We can see them.
Yes, sir.
The the main difference between them. So here, without protection, we cannot go inside. That is what forest guards we can call. But here, we can go without protection also. Understand? So that is because here animals are present, but here the human, we people are present with some kind of vehicles and all, with a gun, some kind of vehicles. That is like forest guards. They have guns and all. That is like, if you'll observe, wild animals and birds are very, very comfortable. Is it true or not? Comfortable in the natural environment of wildlife sanctuary. So whenever they want hunt, they can hunt. Whenever they want to eat, they want to eat. Whenever they want to sleep, they want to sleep. Wherever they want to go, they will go freely. But if it comes to the zoo, what is happening, Shruti? Chaitanya, what is happening?
They will only put their food. They will.
Suppose see, even though suppose lion you take, lion wants to eat rabbit today, lion wants to eat deer today, but we people will keep some dead animal. Is it yes or no? We people can keep some cow or something or goat which has been dead. So it don't want to eat actually. Like after hunting only it will eat the food very happily. Correct or not? Simply if you are providing, it won't eat. But what we'll do, Jew, we cannot do anything. So it is not very comfortable because they don't have any kind of freeness, happiness. Only they're always in a fixed place, like a cage. So they cannot go anywhere. Surroundings are very restricted. So only there they should be there. And whatever we will give the meat or whatever we will give the food, that they need to eat. So they cannot find their own food. So that is why we can say
In that small area only they need to live.
small area. So that wild animals and birds are not comfortable living in this artificial environment of a zoo. So they are very happy in wildlife sanctuaries, not in zoos. So these are the main differences between wildlife sanctuaries and zoos. But zoo and wildlife sanctuary both are what? They are the understanding a safe place protecting wildlife animals and birds.
Life animals.
So this is what the differences between them. So you have to note it down, all of you. So this is the differences between wildlife sanctuaries and zoo, and as well as biosphere reserve and zoo. Do you understand, Ra?
Yes, sir.
Note it down. Do it. Is it completed? Do it. Slowly do it. That's all. So this is all about the today's class. Then tomorrow we'll continue national parts. Okay, Ra? So but today homework is you all
Yes, sir.
try to learn tomorrow. By tomorrow you should learn perfectly the difference between wildlife sanctuary and biosphere reserve, as well as wildlife sanctuary and zoo. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, note it down. Okay, Ra? So this is all about this one. So you can with this we'll end. Thank you, Chaitanya. Thank you, Shruti.
Thank you, sir.